Hey, what's shaking, guys? Dancy here with the one and only Mr. Russ Stevens. How we doing, sir?
Very good, thank you. How are you?
I am doing good, all things considered. The world is in a very strange place right now, but we have each other, Russ Stevens, so I think we'll be
We
okay.
do. We do. Not as strange as my hair at the moment, though. It's kind of, yeah,
You're good. You're
great.
good. You're
Yeah.
good.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing okay, man. It's things like this that kind of it gives all the magicians out there a chance to kind of take their minds off of what's going on in the world right now. Um, so it's good to have you here. We're going to chat about a lot of fun stuff with Russ today, guys. Russ Stevens is a very accomplished stage illusionist. I want to say that first of all. I've got some footage of him in action we're going to show. He's also the main magic guy, consultant, hands on with everything magic wise with Britain's Got Talent. A lot of the Got Talent stuff. He's the man. And he's also one of the co-organizers of the world's biggest magic convention, the Blackpool Magic Convention. We're going to bring on some of your buddies too that run the convention with you. It's going to be fun,
Yes.
man.
Yeah, it'd be really good. Let's have some fun, and we're pretty much open to any questions. So
All right, cool.
whatever you want, got talent or magic generally, and
Yeah,
not that I know everything, but
sure.
yeah, I've been doing it a while. So yeah, and anything Blackpool Convention wise as well, because we've had on our stream quite a few questions in the last week or so.
But
So
well, I guess the elephant in the room is there any update on the Blackpool Magic Convention at this moment? I know it's a bit ways out. It's pretty far out actually. Any
yeah,
updates, any news, anything you can say about that right now?
yeah. Well, I think the guys will when they join me will talk that through, but we're pretty much full on. Still, we're still running as if we're going to run it. So it all looks like it's still going ahead. So, and that's how we have to be, I guess. No one knows though in these uncertain times. So yeah, we're still ploughing on, and we probably I think Russ will probably be Russ Brown will be probably making a bit of an announcement later about one of the events that we're putting on. We're planning for next February, which will involve magicians around the world. So yeah,
Okay, cool. Sounds good. What about BGT? I know that it's a TV show that some of it's been pre-recorded, the early stages, the some of the audition stuff. But when it starts getting to the live stages, is there anything coming up that we should know about or people should be looking out for? Because obviously you're not gonna have live audiences now. Is there anything about that you could say?
well the audition stages have all been shot, so we've just started airing those. So the first two have already gone up, and
Cool.
the magicians that were featured on those shows are already up online. So if anyone wants to check, I know that they're up there. So
Right.
that's James and Dylan Pipe, who are a father and son magic act. They did really really well. Aidan McCann, who's a young magician as
Mhm.
well. Yeah, magic's being featured very heavily throughout the whole of this series. But the lives, which we normally shoot at the end of May, beginning of June, have been postponed, obviously. So we're just waiting for a reshoot date.
Yep.
So again, how long is a piece of string? It's a bit like the Magic Convention as well. Everything's up in the air for everyone at the moment, isn't it?
I get it. I mean, it's the elephant in the room, so I hate to ask, but I gotta ask.
I know it's
Yeah.
fine. It is what it is, isn't it? We
Yeah.
can't. No one can predict. Well, I think we can predict roughly what's happening, but how long it's going to be is the matter, isn't it? And I know obviously Magic Live got pulled, and I heard that Visum Europe has just gone now as well, which was I think that was in Spain, so that's gone. So
Yeah.
who knows? I
Well,
mean, my dog Marley would probably have as good an idea as anyone. So
well, the other cool thing is too. If people don't know, Izzy Simpson's your granddaughter, and she also appeared on BGT, and that's where she started to really make a name for herself. Obviously, she kind of took the world by storm, and that leads me to one quick thing I wanted to show, because we're also going to mention that you do have your company RSVP, which I know you're not putting out
yeah,
as many products these days because you're busy with BGT and running the convention. Um,
yeah,
but Bag for Life is something. I see it's got her name on it, well, along with Mark Bendel.
yeah.
This is an absolutely beautiful piece of magic. If people haven't seen this before, I'm going to run this real quick. This is something your company put out. If you want to kind of mention that quickly, what's going on with this one?
Yeah, we put this out about 5 years ago. It was on a DVD, RSVP Magic DVD called The Unknown, and Mark is absolutely brilliant. And I would suggest anyone, if you haven't watched or seen The Unknown, the material on there is fantastic, proper working material stuff. And this is one of the effects, Bag for Life, which
Yeah.
was two coins, and the audience would choose one, and one of them would pass through the cellophane in the bag and would be handed out straight away. So yeah, it was a trick that I taught Izzy when she did BGT. That was 3 years ago now. So
Yep.
she did that in a lot of talk shows over here and yeah, interviews and stuff. So it's a really easy to do piece of magic, really easy, and yeah, super visual as well, as you can see.
Yeah, I mean the visuals speak for itself. I remember the year this was released mainstream at the Blackpool Convention. I was sitting at one of the cafes, and I saw people at basically
Yeah,
every table sitting there with the bag, like doing the little a
yeah,
move, pulling the coin through.
yeah. Everyone was wandering around with them because it is something you could do straight away. You know, it's as simple as. But it looks great. It's so simple as well. And I think it was Gary Jones and Mark Bendel, but mainly Mark's idea. But literally, they were messing around in a cafe apparently one day, having a coffee, and Mark said, "What about if you did this?" And that's how that kind of happened. And yeah, it's kind of, when you know the secret, it's kind of weird that it actually optically works the way that it does, but it does. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. Really.
It's a beautiful illusion. It does come, just so you guys know, it does come in U.S. coins too. I know that in the trailer they were
Yes.
showing some UK money. So
Yeah, yeah, it comes in 25-cent coin
yeah,
for the US, and the DVD is called The Unknown, which I think Murphy's might have a few left. I know that we pretty much sold out. We've got a few, but not many left of those. But it's a when I set up the company, we set that up. Oh, I can't remember. There really weren't many DVD production companies then that were really going magic. DVD companies,
yeah,
and
sure.
set that up on the basis that it was always going to be material that people would use, like workers, as in working close-up magicians. So
Yeah.
yeah, and it and that DVD was an example of that. All that material was so strong, totally usable, like no filler. A lot of that stuff would be released as single trick DVDs, single trick
I believe it.
products now. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's what I always did with even the last few that I released, which were probably about a year ago, maybe. They're all full of stuff that people would use, workers, for people that actually are performing for a living.
Yep. And it is interesting now that RSVP was a bit ahead of its time. You were one of the kind of the front runners there for a while. Now it's anyone can make a DVD with their phone or a download with their phone.
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. It's gone a bit crazy, hasn't it? The whole magic marketing thing has expanded so much. But yeah, we were pretty early on. In fact, the first DVD we ever released was Corporate Close Up by Martin Sanderson, which is still shot in 4:3. It's not even in widescreen. It's not that old, but it's old. But the material on that is just brilliant. And I would say UK close-up magicians, every single close-up magician in the UK uses at least one routine off of that DVD. Wow. And he was the guy that took the Omni deck and gave it a whole new look and feel, where he switched it in during play. It wasn't done like the Paul Harris Solid Deception thing. It was really cool. And that's pretty much Martin's way of doing Omni deck, is the way that pretty much everyone does it now.
And Omnideck is definitely one of those things that packs a punch, and for good reason. That the ending when they're holding that is crazy, which leads me to Britain's Got Talent, where you've helped a lot of the magicians take magic that they may have already done and make it better and give it that wow factor.
Yeah, my thing really, I used to be a stage illusionist,
right? And
so I quit. I stopped performing about 11 years ago now. So
there you
but
are.
I was always. Oh no, don't. Yeah. So what's really sad is that there are so many illusionists still performing like this. So I called it like the Captain Fantastic thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I kind of toured the world really doing an illusion show from starting with a very small bird manipulation act to building up to a full show. And I did a thing in Blackpool when Blackpool was kind of busy. I did a show called Mystique, which ran for 7 years, which was a big illusion show at the Blackpool Pleasure Beach, which ran successfully for probably about 12 years. But I started it in 1988 and I left in 94, and then sort of pursued my own thing. And then after that, I also worked with Wayne Dobson. very,
Yeah.
very closely on two of his three sort of primetime Saturday night primetime TV series, as well as his sort of magic consultant, which was kind of fun.
Oh, I bet, man. And that's the reason I wanted to show this. Honestly, Russ, it's not necessarily to take a piss, take the piss out, but
I know.
I think people should know that they know your name, they know that you're a consultant, they know that you're heavily involved with the Blackpool Convention, but I don't think enough people realize what you've done. The fact that you've toured the world with a stage illusion show. I mean, you've done it. Like you've done this
Yeah,
stuff, and that's how you know what you know now is because you've actually done this stuff.
yeah, and that's kind of what's stood me in good stead with the stuff that I do at BGT, because um, my strength, which wasn't necessarily here with the illusions as such, but the actual, I was really into staging and lighting and directing. And that's kind of my thing, really. I think I realized that was my strength, was knowing what works, especially on TV, on a show, well, on TV, I think generally, but on something like Got Talent, especially. So, yeah, um, yeah. God, I haven't seen that video.
I think we're losing Russ a little bit here. I'll talk a little bit while he's hopefully getting reconnected. Oh, there you are. You're back. Okay, cool.
Have you got? Yeah, there you go. There you go. So actually, that illusion there, I don't know if that showed, but there was a mirror illusion there, and that was built by Guy Barrett, who's going to be joining us soon. So
Here it is.
yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah, we'll bring the guys in here in just a couple more minutes. I wanted to
Yeah.
chat with you about a few things first, obviously, and then we'll get into some of the Blackpool
So
talk. Yeah.
my Got Talent journey started with a magician called James Moore, who's now in the Illusionists, and he was a Pact, and I kind of we hooked up, and we ended up creating this illusionist guy who didn't really exist before that,
Mm-hmm.
and he was bursting up on Got Talent. But as a manager, I wasn't working for the company. I didn't work for BGT until after Izzy Simpson had done her year, and that kind of happened on the basis that I was kind of, after Izzy, for me that was it. It was never gonna get better from that perspective, not being working on the show but just going in with acts. So yeah, and then I've been kind of closely involved with the magic on the show since then. So, but not just the tricks, it's more the staging and the blocking and the direction of how the stuff works.
Yeah, that's something a lot of people think. Oh, he's a consultant. He just helps with the tricks, but there's so much more to
I
that.
hate I hate being called a magic consultant.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with being a magic consultant, but a magic consultant is always a different thing to me. In the UK, anyway, a magic consultant that works on TV normally is the guy that's coming up with the tricks and the effects and the ideas for the tricks. Whereas I kind of do that, but I more do the, what do we do once we've got the trick? What do we do with the staging? What do we do with the music? What do we do with the way it's shot? How do we block it? That's my thing. I definitely have an eye for what works on a show like Got Talent. I mean, an example, the latest, the newest example is a magician on the series used Jan Miranda's new Kayla Morelli's phone, the metal phone.
Yep.
But we did it in a completely different way. The presentation was, we made it into something way, way bigger than just that one moment. It was that trick was one moment out of 3 or 4 moments, in the whole routine. And that was all down to staging and the music and the whole vibe. And it was the first time, I think, that a magician has gone on Got Talent, and I timed it. There was no magic in the act for 2 minutes and 40 seconds. It was all just scripting and building and questions and leading to this moment at the end. And it was really strong, really, really strong. Simon was like a little kid at the end. By the end of this whole thing, he absolutely loved it. So, yeah, that's an example of what I kind of do, is take what a magician's, it isn't a standard trick, but it's a trick that's commercially out there. And then I can take that and then turn it into something a lot more. And I know the 2015, I worked with Jamie Raven and sort of famously did Cartoon, which was obviously a trick everyone owned. But I don't think anyone had done it on TV like that before. And sort of kudos to Jamie Allen, who had been performing it in his way for quite a few years before that, brilliantly.
Yeah.
I thought, you know what, I could take that, change it up a bit, and re-script it, and re-block it, and and put the music to it, and yeah, it was really good. It was that made a big impact as well on the UK public, you know.
Absolutely. And speaking of the UK public, you know, you guys together as a team, the handful of you guys in the UK have brought magic to magicians around the world, but also the gala shows, they're still open to the public, right? The Blackpool Magic Convention shows, they're open to the public for the show to come in.
When we took over, which was about 4 years ago now, I think the first year the old team had already booked sort of half the convention or more than, so we kind of had a bit of a catch up, and it wasn't really our convention. And then the following year we had that year where we just threw everything into it in the way of the new ideas. And one of the ideas was that the shows were never open to the public, and we used to do just one show a night. And the Opera House Theatre is 3,200 seats. So, and we could fit the whole of the convention audience into that theatre. So we never hit over probably 3,200, 3,300 before the new team took over. It was probably normally below that. It was probably more like early 3,000s or whatever. And our first thing, which was Guy Barrett's idea, was that we would do 2 houses and let the public in. And we that was how confident we were, in the way that we knew that we were confident that we would sell tickets, that there wouldn't be enough seats in the theatre to put just one show on. So yeah, that meant we opened it up to the public. So now we do 2 houses, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Probably 3/4 full each house, sometimes full, both houses, 3,000 to 3,300 people. So it's been great. It's been a really good, fun thing for all of us. Yeah, there's our website. So that was a year before last with Hans Clark. Obviously, this year, Mark Spellman. This year we did the whole, we had Lance, we had Matt King, Yuri Geller. I mean, it was a crazy year this year. So it feels very surreal that was only, I don't know, 6 or 7 weeks ago, and now we're in this kind of position. Bizarre.
I know, man. It's wild. And the technology that you guys have brought into that LED screen, is that you guys, or was that you guys working with the theater?
Yeah, that's us. Yeah, I mean, we brought in the video walls, we ramped up the lighting, the quality of the acts we felt, and a lot of the acts needed staging. To us, you know, they would do just their acts, but we would light them and just give them production to make them look as good as we possibly could, you know. And that was something that really worked. I think overall, like this year that we've just done with Lance, it was just under 5,000 people.
Wow.
Which is crazy. You know, we were ramping up like 20% a year or something the last 2 years. So we're now at just under 5. I think we did 4,989 or something like that. It was just under 5,000. So
wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. So, you know, fingers crossed. Then, you know, 2021 in February we'll all be good to go again. So we're carrying on as if we are. So
back together again. That's what we all need. What a party that would be, Russ. Good God, what a party that would be.
Yeah, it would be amazing, wouldn't it? Yeah. It would be really, really cool if that. Yeah, let's hope it does.
Well, speaking of parties, I think it's time to get this party started with your buddies here. I've got Guy Barrett. I'm going to go ahead and add him into the call here. Let me go ahead and get us back up on the old screen here. I'm going to bring in Guy. Let's see if he's going to pick up here. Got a couple of other call here. Let me go ahead and get us. Make sure you got some headphones on there, Guy, if you got them. Or I think we had a little echo there. I think you're good.
Right. Hey, Guy.
Hi there, you all right?
Bring him in. Here he is, Guy Barrett. What's up, man?
Hi, how are you? All right?
Yeah, we got a little bit of an echo, though. I don't know if it's on your monitor, on your computer, if you have something running.
Oh, 1 minute. Yeah,
yeah, there we go.
There we go.
So
I've just been watching it on the page, so catching up.
Gotcha.
It's probably Pornhub.
Oh God. We got Russ Brown. We're gonna bring in Russ Brown too. I'm gonna go ahead and add him into the call here too. So we got the whole gang. You guys are gonna get to see the people that actually take the time during the year to connect the dots, book the people, book the talent, get the dealer room. Oh my God, it's just one thing after another in it with the convention. Dealer room, talent, shows. Here's another one of you guys.
Hey,
Russ
Russ.
Brown.
Hi.
All right. Thank you for joining us, sir. Good to see you.
Well, this is just before we all start. This is the three of us. So we are part of a much bigger team. So there are a team of probably, is it 11 or 12 people?
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are another 9 or so people that are involved in all of this. So we don't do the whole thing ourselves. But I think creatively, the three of us are the creative side of the convention. So
Nice.
like Russ runs all the shows, Guy runs all the tech and everything around that. I kind of am out front, lighting and staging and stuff. And so we all have our like individual skills, and then put them all together, and you get the convention now.
Very cool. So I want to ask the collective team that we do have. I know that there's more people that are involved, but when you guys took over the convention as organizers a few years ago, did you have a main objective? Did you have a mission to add new blood to the convention to make it fresh and new again? What was the objective that you guys kind of had collectively, if there was one?
No, I think we wanted to bring it forward. We felt that a lot of people loved the Blackpool Convention, but felt there were a lot of old-fashioned things. And I think the first thing we did was listen to what people were saying. People were saying the gala shows are too long. They don't like it. There were certain things that people said they didn't like. So we listened and we changed it. So that was one of the first things we did.
Yeah, and there's
I think also is taking risks and changing. The first year we brought in a play, which everyone was really shocked about, that we were bringing in a play which was quite melancholy, really, wasn't it? But it was one of the hits of the convention. But taking risks like that is something that we enjoy doing. You know, giving it a new edge.
Yeah, and it's definitely been noticed by the people, Russ. I mean, everyone that's gone has said it feels like a brand new convention again. And I know that you guys collectively make that happen, but people talk.
I think collectively as well, we came up with the idea of what we call the Fringe, which I suppose is like our version of the Edinburgh Fringe. So when we realised, and Guy had the idea of the 2 shows, which meant that half the conventional audience weren't in a show. So we wanted to, rather than normally they'd go for a meal or a drink, let's put on a Fringe. So we did this. We have this Fringe thing now, which is, you know, as successful as anything else, which is 2 shows and not 2 different other shows in the other theatres, which they can choose to go and see one of either, and then the gala show as well. That's become a satellite thing on its own.
We sort of decided together that as well, that the daytime should feel a bit like work, that you're learning things, you're doing the lectures, you're going to the dealers, but as soon as it hits 6 o'clock, then it's play, then it's all shows, you can go to the bars, and to get that atmosphere going. And that was something that we collectively all thought and tried to make happen, really, didn't we?
Wait.
I
There's
think
bars?
the late night shows as well.
Wait. There's bars in Blackpool? Wait, what?
Hello?
The late night shows as well. They work really well.
Yeah, the what is it? The Beat the Wand. That's a really fun thing that I know a lot of people have had fun with. A lot of fun with, actually. In the
and just as a quick one, we're talking about the late night shows. I think the 3 of us, but I'll say it collectively, that we apologise for the whole debacle with Mac King this year. So that was like, you know, we're constantly learning from our mistakes, or that was a mistake. You know, we a lot of people, we do read things on social media. We follow everyone's, you know, what they're saying, and we listen. And that was one thing. You know, we did read though, he should have been in the Opera House. That was something we actually thought of, but we couldn't do that technically because of our Churro Bracchetti show, which was probably one of the best shows we'll ever see at the Blackpool Convention. But because of the tech getting in and out and all of that stuff, we couldn't put Mac in there that night. But we should have really done Mac over the 2, you know, now we should have put him on the Friday and Saturday. You know,
a lot of
they're
people
just not enough seats. You know?
A lot of people didn't realise as well, because there were a few people said about the Matt King incident, and they were like, where were the organisers? Well, we were literally unloading and loading trucks overnight to get Arturo's show on. To make that show happen, we had to work. We had to take everything out, all of the lights, all of the screens, everything, unload 2 huge trucks, set it up overnight, and then put it all back the day after. So literally it was an overnight job. So that's where we were during that. The 3 of us don't see anything of Blackpool, really. It's just insane.
I mean, and you know, the old saying is you can't please everyone. I mean, you multiply that times 5,000 people, and there you go. Like, what are you going to do? I mean,
yeah, a lot of the things that people say, it's kind of like as if we've not really figured that out, or there's always a reason. Generally, there's a reason why things have happened the way they have. But the Matt King thing was a definite we should have really we kind of dropped the ball on that one. But saying that that was it, and then to me the rest of that convention was just unreal. In fact, I think we put too much on. You know, there were too many good things, which meant that people were missing some amazing things because they were going and seeing something else that was amazing as well.
Yeah, we spent enormous amounts of time sort of with the schedule, trying to make things so it doesn't clash. And but unfortunately, we've got limitations on the venues, and we've got 5,000 people. So we always try and make it so that everyone can see as much as possible.
Yeah, and it's tough. It's juggling. You guys are jugglers. That's what you are at the end of the day. I know this isn't the full team, but the vision going forward, I know that it's got to be hard year after year to top what you've done the year before, especially now with the names that you're getting to come over. You know, a lot of Vegas people have been coming over the last couple of years. And are there any, I wouldn't say goals, but like, how do you keep going forward, you know, and making things better, you know, as a convention? Because I don't know how you keep doing it. And I'm sure a lot of people are like, yeah, how are they going to beat this? How are they going to do that?
I think we'll all agree, the 3 of us, that we all always discuss that the event is always bigger than anyone, the actual whole. So Blackpool as a whole thing is this big thing, and it's great to put these huge names in there, but it's collectively at the end on that Monday morning when the convention ends, was the whole thing amazing? And that's our aim, really. I think if we were trying to better ourselves, I think Russ and Guy would probably join in here and say that, you know, this year is going to be a bit of a hard one to top.
Yeah, definitely.
I would agree with that too. Yeah,
I think the best quote about this year was Gay Lundberg, and Gay Lundberg sat and had a coffee with me and said, "Your lineup at Blackpool is as though somebody's give you a big box of fireworks and said, there's your fireworks for 5 years. And the 3 of you gone, oh, come on, let's just set them all off now." And that was what Blackpool was like this year. It was insane. But we have got some really cool stuff lined up for next year, albeit well.
Yeah, we're constantly trying to like add different looks or different vibes. Like a couple of years ago, we had an amazing street magician called Diobo who works in Covent Garden. He's amazing. And I had this idea of putting him in the main atrium, which is when the main walkthrough. So you've got 5,000 people throughout the whole weekend walking through this area. And I said to him, I want you to come in off the street with your speaker, with your props, like you would in Covent Garden, and just roll up, set up, and just do it. And I want the conventioneers to think, God, is this guy just a conventioneer that's just doing this off his own bat, or is this part of the convention? And we never announced it, we never billed it, and he did it 3 times a day, didn't he? I think. For the weekend, for the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, he would do it, finish, and walk out. And I said to him, don't go through the stage door. It was like he had to go out through the main entrance, back out into the street. So that I wanted the conventioneers to think, what was that? Who is he? Because no one really knew who he was then. And
I think the thing that took us by surprise this year as well was people like Lance and Yuri especially. They couldn't literally walk 10 paces. They couldn't walk 10 paces without being mobbed. So things like the signings that we ended up doing ended up being quite a big thing, really, which we want to try and do more of things like that. It's trying to constantly evolve it, isn't it?
Yeah. That's the idea. This year, I think Russ will tell you a little bit more about it, and Guy will. We're doing an event, hopefully with Chris Angel, on one of the nights, and making it into not a massive part of the convention, but we want to do our take and our spin on a Magic competition. So I'll let Russ give the basic.
Nigel Quinn has just put on Facebook, is Chris Angel still lined up to talk? Yes, he is, all being well. All being well. Everything's out of our hands with the coronavirus at the moment, but all being well. But Chris is going to do the talk. But we were going out to meet Chris to talk about where we were going next, because we wanted to work in conjunction with Chris to do pretty much once in a lifetime stage show. And it's a competition, pretty much open to people. They've got to submit DVDs of their act, and the prize is going to be, number one will be £10,000.
The other prize we'll keep back, Russ, for now. But
the other prize we'll keep back, but it's once in a lifetime. It's a once in a lifetime thing. Wow. And it will be hopefully the Saturday night that we will do all that. But we until we finish up chatting to Chris about it, we can't reveal that much more. But it is something that in the next few months we will be revealing, and it is pretty cool. Isn't it, Russ and Guy? It's really cool.
Yeah, and that's a competition open to all magicians, and that's part of the reason for what we've done over the last 3 years. You were saying, Luke, about the tech in the theatre with the huge video walls and stuff. So, and also now the popularity of people like Shin Lim and Eric Chen and those kind of magicians, that close up is now becoming stage, and so the competition, we want to have it open to all kinds of magic, and it will be invite only, and it will be submissions, and as Russ said, the first prize cash wise is excellent, and there'll be another part to it as well.
Yeah, the other bit's priceless, really, isn't it?
So yeah, that's an example of what we're trying to do. We're trying to make the convention different to other conventions. Sure. We're not trying to be comparable to anyone. We're kind of trying to flip around a bit.
We try to do things different as well. Like Guy said about the play, a couple of years ago, I wanted to, rather than the normal children's lectures, I got a couple of children's TV presenters who weren't magicians. They were just children's TV presenters, and got them to do a talk. And I can remember the internet outcry when I said that. They're like, we're not going to learn any tricks. We're not going to learn anything. And we took this risk, and I'm like, oh, well, if it's going to backfire, I'll take the hit for this. And it didn't really. People, loved it. Learning something different. So we do quite often take risks, don't we? Some of them work, some of them don't. And
also, Luke, you're a big part of the. We had the idea of doing the sort of TED-style talks, which is exactly what Russ was saying with the kids' magic, was to do that about all aspects of magic. So our main thing was, we didn't want you to host a series of people doing tricks, because we have a lot of that at the convention. And I always thought, as a person that used to perform and knowing how many performers there are, that I was sick of going to a convention and seeing tricks. Like, I like part of the convention to be that, but it was always the tricks. And I was like, wouldn't it be cool to have a group of people talking about magic consulting, people talking about TV magic, and with your help, obviously, we've kind of done that as well, which are sort of another sub-events that are part of the convention, which have been really successful too.
I will say the feedback I got from a lot of people was that it was a breath of fresh air to have something that they could learn that wasn't just another trick. And there's nothing wrong with learning new tricks, but people are also hungry for information and knowledge from people that are actually doing the stuff. And it was really humbling for me to be able to, be in the middle of that.
It was fun. Of your work as well, because it's a hard task that whole weekend, holding those talks and whatever. And we obviously had the one that I personally really enjoyed was getting we had 5 kids that we got together, which you hosted that talk, and that was really good. In fact, one of those kids was just on BGT on Saturday, Aidan McCann, who's a really good performer. He's 10 years old. You know, they're all really, really good. And it's that thing of giving a bit of a different spin, but also introducing people that magicians might not know of, or that would never normally come to a magic convention. You know, it's an expensive thing for a kid to come to. So,
yeah. So I'm going to ask each one of you guys something here, and then we'll start to kind of wrap things up here. We'll start with the other Russ. Russ, what is your favorite thing about the Blackpool convention? Not just as an organizer, but I know you've probably gone for years before you were involved the way that you are now. But what do you think your favorite thing is about the Blackpool convention?
I think I've been involved with the convention since being 9 years old.
Wow.
So a long, long time. I've never actually been as a punter, even from being 9. I've done something and I've worked there. And I think Blackpool is the biggest party in magic. It is a huge atmosphere, social, and it's very exciting. And for me, one of my things that I really enjoy doing is we start on the Tuesday and the Wednesday, setting everything up for the acts. I mean, we're working non-stop. I mean, myself, Russ and Guy speak every day about the convention. We speak, even now during the lockdown, we speak every day. And one of my big things, and I know Guy's the same with this, is going into a big empty theatre with nothing in it, making these huge shows happen, and then on Sunday night going bang, and it all goes back to nothing. And I get a proper kick out of that. It's really cool. But the atmosphere and the social is Blackpool. It's like Russ said, no matter who we get, the big thing is Blackpool. The big thing is the atmosphere is what it is. It's really cool.
Definitely hard to describe. You know, people have asked me, Luke, what is it like? And it's kind of hard to describe it unless you've gone. You know, it is that experience that it's really hard to describe because there's so much going on. And the little village there, I think it's called a village. It's Blackpool's it's a character in itself. You know, Blackpool is definitely a character in its own right. So, yeah. What about you, Guy? What do you think is one of your favorite things about the Blackpool Magic Convention?
I mean, I think Russ has taken the words out of my mouth. I think I really enjoy the whole setup of the convention, and ended up with putting that final product on, and everybody enjoying it. I mean, I've always enjoyed doing the backstage side. I've not done the backstage side as much in the recent years, but I think that's one of the things. And I think bringing everybody together and also bringing people together that, you know, we've grown up with all these names, and then all of a sudden we're then able to work with these guys from all over the world. It's really special.
Very cool. All right, and Russ Stevens, what do you think your favorite thing is? I know it's a tough question, I get it, but what do you think your favorite thing is?
I like Russ said, for all the three of us, Blackpool's been like, I'm originally from London, but I was, the first Blackpool I went to was about 1980, I think. Wow. And I've been to most years, you know, so it's a big part of our lives before we even got involved. And then I think the fun thing for, I think, all of us, but that I personally really like, is working with a group of people, like 12 people being part of, and also, you know, you've got the Blackpool Magic Club, which is, you know, behind all of this, but you've got a group of 12 people, 12 members of that club who put on that convention, all with the same aim, which is just to put on this fantastic convention for everyone. And that's pretty much what it's all about for all of us. Like Russ said, that Monday morning when everything's gone, you're kind of scratching your head saying, did that really happen? Did we really do all of that? And it took that team of people over a year of constant work to do, you know, so it's a big buzz. It's a fun thing for us as well. You know, sometimes it hasn't been so much fun getting there. And obviously when you're making the changes that we've made, you know, there are other people with other ideas that might be stuck in the past that might not like those changes. But I think everyone, when they see what we ended up with or we've ended up with today, I think you can see that you know what our vision is. Our vision has always been just to put on an amazing convention for everyone. You know, that everyone will, like Russ said, it's just a weekend, a blast, like a massive party, 5,000 people that love magic, you know.
And we live this convention for sort of a year, 18 months ahead, and I'm sure the other guys will agree. It goes so quick. Those 4 or 5 days is over like a flash. It's before we start the week on the Tuesday, and then by the time we're going, it's Monday again. You know, it's so crazy how quick it goes.
Yeah.
I think my last question for you is, with the convention the way that it is, the day that the convention's over, that Monday, are you guys already starting to plan the next year, or have you already started planning the next year before the convention even starts, the one that's happening at the time?
Yeah, it's already been started. It's already been started. There's quite often some of the acts that we get, we ask, and then if they can't do it, we start to work to the year after the year after the year after.
Makes sense.
So we already are chatting to people for 2022. We're a good amount there on 2021. It's mad, isn't it? Really.
It's like Arturo's show. Arturo was at the previous convention, having a look at the convention. We went out to Milan to see him about 6 months before the previous convention. So he came to Blackpool, saw the setup we have now, and then the last year was sort of getting the technical side sorted, because obviously he was touring. So someone like Arturo, it took 18 months, nearly 2 years.
Wow.
We're working well ahead, and we're even talking about stuff for 22, which is cool. Kind of mind blowing. But yeah, it's a massive big thing. But the main thing is, I think that we all enjoy it. You know,
I would hope so. With all the work that goes into that, I would certainly hope that you. I mean, I know that you do, but you kind of have to love this stuff to pull it off, because it's not easy, I'm sure.
And you got that whole team. How many dealers did we have this year, guys? 189 or
about 180, 190.
Yeah.
It was insane.
It's crazy. There's a whole, we don't do that. That's another group of people that are doing all of that. You've got the admin, you've got, the whole the ticketing process, and all of that stuff isn't, although we're over it, but people do that, and it's this group of people, and it's fun. We have a meeting. Obviously, we're in lockdown. We don't now, but we have our committee meeting once a month. And you would think that the maybe now, if we were having a meeting, there wasn't much to talk about, but there is, because we're constantly building and talking about the following year and even the year after that.
And we're already talking about for next year, not changing the ticketing system, but tweaking it. Because, again, we knew we had issues there. A lot of people were like, oh, there's this, there's a big queue. And it's like, we know there's a big queue. It's, 2,000 people used to turn up, and now it's 5. So we have to adapt and change, which we're looking at how we're going to do that. So next year, that should be better.
Yeah. I mean,
every convention we do, we learn.
I mean, that's also all you can do.
The other thing I think we should all, just quickly before we go, is we've seen online, obviously, we've noticed this whole thing about the females in magic thing. There's been a thing about the fact that Blackpool is so, we're not booking many females, and as if that's a deliberate choice, and it far from it. So far from it. We've always wanted to book the best that we can book, especially for the shows, which is kind of our backgrounds. So all the three of us, that we're from sort of show performance backgrounds. So and that doesn't mean that there's maybe just not right for what we wanted at that time, But we're actively looking. In fact, we've been speaking to a few female magicians that a couple already sort of signed that, we felt slightly, it was, an uncomfortable situation to be asking people, and they were kind of, am I being booked just because I'm a female? And it's like, no, we will only ever book someone on their merit, not on their gender or race, or it'll just be booked on whether, they're right for that job that year. And maybe that year, that performer wouldn't be right within the slot that we would want them to be in,
And speaking of working in advance, a couple of the female performers that we want for 2021, we had actually asked them to do it well before this year's convention. well before that we wanted to get them. Right. It's just, you know, nothing's done on purpose like that. In fact, in the first few years, I worked very heavily with Faye to try and encourage this and try and make it better. So, but nothing's done intentionally like that at all.
Of course not. Sometimes magicians just want to complain for nothing. And I mean, whatever. You guys put on one hell of a convention, and at the end of the day, we should all be thankful that it even exists. You know, I mean, and of course, there's always going to be room for new things and improvements. But I mean, what about a little thank you before you start complaining and saying, why don't you do this? Like, give me a break. Yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah, there is no, you know, there are no agendas. I mean, Izzy's, my granddaughter, Izzy is like one of the, online especially, like one of the female online viral magicians over the last 2 or 3 years. And on that kind of note, I remember when she was doing BGT, it was very much pushed to me that I should push the fact that she was a girl doing magic. And personally, you know, she was on the show because she was fantastic. An 8-year-old kid that was fantastic, not an 8-year-old girl or an 8-year-old boy, an 8-year-old kid that was just a fantastic little performer and could do great magic. And that's pretty much what our ethos is with the whole convention. You know, there is no plan of discriminating anyone.
Of course not. Yeah. Well, guys, I'm going to let the other Russ and Guy, I'll let you guys get on out of here. I do want to say thank you for popping on. And also, for me, to all the magicians, I've seen quite a few people in the comments here saying thank you to the guys behind the scenes that help make this stuff happen, because without you, we wouldn't have a Blackpool convention to go to. So from all of us, thank you to each one of you for your help and what you do so we can go to Blackpool every year and have a good time.
Thanks for having us. Take care.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you, guys. Take care and be safe, okay? Cool. All right, Russ, some of the good guys out there joining you, and thank you again for them popping on here. You know, a ship doesn't go very far without the crew, you know, making it all work.
That's something, you know, well, you learn early on in life, but it's also getting the right crew and the kind of crew that all have the same vision, and that there are no agendas, and the agenda is we just want to put on this amazing convention.
Yep.
And I think the one thing that the Russ, Guy, and myself have is we had this vision, and when you've got that vision and you're so steadfast with it, we're always wanting to listen, but we were obviously, there were a lot of changes that were going to be made to make that happen in the way that it did, and the changes had to be made quickly as well. And it's great to work with people that all kind of have that same kind of vision.
Yeah. Well, definitely appreciate you, and I missed seeing you guys coming out to Vegas. I know you're planning on coming out to do some planning.
we were coming out literally just as the lockdown happened. So hopefully that'll be another time. So yeah, as Russ was saying, we're plowing ahead with 2021. So you know, it's still very much on as far as we're concerned, and until it isn't, it isn't. If it is, it is. And you know, and on behalf of everyone at Blackpool Magic Convention, thank everyone out there for your support. The ticket sales, when we went live at midnight on that Sunday night, it was crazy. You know, crazy. We sold out the VIP tickets within 24 hours. You know, look at the seating plans. Both shows are literally half full already in ticket sales, and that was done within the first few weeks. So we really appreciate everyone's support, and we do listen to everything that's put online.
Well, that's the important part, guys. I hope you're listening. Is even though you might be frustrated about some things, the guys running the show, they're listening. So keep that in mind before you start saying the next thing that you're upset about, if there is something. Also, real quick, I do want to remind everybody, you know, Russ doesn't just produce the best convention. He's also produced some great products out there too. Quick little plug one more time. His product line, RSVP Magic, Bag for Life. I showed you that when we first started. One of my favorite guys actually in the industry too. You produced one of his first DVDs, I believe, John Kerry's Classic Kerry. It's a really great DVD full of great card magic.
We've done about 5 projects with John, so another really great guy. Like there are some really lovely people out there as well.
Yeah. And also another great person, Eddie McCall. You did the Glasgow connection, which was another.
Yeah, that was one of the last ones we did, actually.
Yeah.
And Eddie's. Yeah, I like doing products and projects with people, either that I like or I really love their magic.
Sure.
You know, and it's that kind of, that was always my ethos with the company, was always to do magic or film and shoot magic that I thought was great. You know, and whether that was commercial or like Eddie's more technical, they all have their different strengths and weaknesses, obviously. But he's a great. Yeah, Eddie's fantastic. Check out some of his stuff online. He's brilliant, really, really brilliant.
And then, of course, you produced something called the what was it, the Whirlet, the Whamlet? What was it?
The Wowlet. That was Luke. That was your wallet thing, based around the WoW gimmick, which is fantastic. It's amazing.
That was
really,
fun.
really great. That's we've done. If anyone checks our website out, you'll see we've got a lot of projects and a lot of products out, kind of thing. And Murphy's obviously the main wholesaler for all of those as well. So that's a big part. And then everyone that keep checking every Saturday night UK time. Obviously, we've got BGT airing, but all those videos go up online. So I think we've got 2 more Magic based acts on this Saturday as well.
Oh, cool.
One with a totally original piece as well, which is fantastic, really fantastic. So check it out.
Good to know. I wish I was able to watch it live. Of course, I mean, thank goodness for the internet, YouTube and all that fun stuff. We can watch it later for sure. So let me go ahead and bring us back to the big twos, what I call it, back to us. And as we wrap up, I do want to say thank you for your time. I know that even though there's not a lot of stuff going on where you can leave the house, I know you're still busy, with the things that you do. Because I know we were talking earlier, you were like, honestly, things haven't changed too much for me because I work mainly at home anyway, even when you're doing the TV show. So I'm sure you're still got stuff going on. I'm sure you're still plenty busy. So thank you for spending some time with us. And of course, the rest of the team again for hanging out. But any last words from Russ Stevens as we start to get out of here on this Wednesday here, as we're all trapped at home?
I just hope everyone's surviving and keeping sane throughout this lockdown, and their hair isn't getting as crazy as mine is at the moment. So my dog doesn't seem too upset by it all, though, so he looks okay. But everyone stay safe, and hopefully everything will be back to normal as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's the plan, my friend. So stay safe over there as well. And I'll go ahead and sign off for the both of us here. Excuse me. I do want to let the guys know that we'll announce our winners in the comments from last week's show. If any of you have liked and dropped a comment on this week's show, you are entered to win your choice of any At the Table lecture download. So if you haven't yet, drop a comment in there if you've been shy and hit the old like button, and you are entered to win a free download of your choice from our At the Table series. So it's that easy. Again, check the comments later. I'll tag the winners. Congrats to them. So Russ, as we start to get out of here, I'm going to run the outro rather. I want to say thank you again. And to everyone out there watching, please stay safe. Thanks for the support and hanging out. And if you haven't yet, turn on those live notifications so you know the next time we go live just like this. See you guys.
See you guys. Bye-bye.